Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out XCN's price chart and I'm going to show you some very important signals suggesting in XCN either we are quite close to the end of our move down or maybe we are going to witness, unfortunately, a massive breakdown alongside, I would say, a lot of other altcoins, and our move down is going to continue for quite some time. Basically, I'm going to try and explain why do I think in XCN and probably in a lot of other alts, we are at sort of kind of a make it or break it level. So, are you ready? Let's dive in and see what is going on. And first things first, I want to be very clear. In XCN, my primary scenario is actually the optimistic one, suggesting that we are going to make it as opposed to break it. And hopefully, we are having 5 up followed by a correction down. And the next move in Onyx is going to be a good one up in order to finally get a break of this beautiful descending channel that we are stuck in it since there we go, April of this year. And when we do that, at the same time, I'm really hoping that we are going to also get a break of this important resistance area as well. And you might ask why? Because we touched this level way too many times. Let's just do a quick counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times we got to this level, and every single time we got some sort of a reaction from it. So I'm gonna say this is actually a weak region, and the next time that we get to here, I'm really hoping that we are going to get a break of it, and from here at that point you can expect roughly about like a 40% straight move on the upside. Why do I say a straight move? Because in XCN, the situation is actually quite a bit different than a lot of other altcoins, since every single time that we want to get a move up, it actually happens almost instantly. In other words, you really do not get the chance to buy in the middle of the uptrend. You either bought the lows or you are going to buy the top and basically stay negative for quite some time. Don't believe me? Okay, here is a simple example for you. As you can see, in this pump in Onyx, we actually got, if I just do this, from 0.7 to about 2.7, like a 500% move on the upside. And this happened in about, as you can see, yep, only 4 days. And followed by that, we got a move down. So if you bought XCN right around these levels, fair enough, you were absolutely fine. If you didn't though, you didn't really have much time to buy XCN around these regions in this initial phase down. The price has just simply shot off, and also the same goes for this massive pump from this level right in here to about the highs, which as you can see, it was like a 600% pump, and it happened only, as you can see, in about 3.5 days. Let's just call it 4 days. So as you can see, the situation in XCN, like we said it earlier, is a lot different than other alts, meaning either we are having very slow and choppy moves on the downside, or maybe like a very quick pump, and that will be it, maybe even our final top. Now, let's zoom in more and see what is going on in the short term. Okay, so if you remember, the last time that we talked about Onyx, we were, I think, right in here, and the idea was that I'm not really sure whether we have hit our final low or not. I mean, sure, we are able to find the subbase for an ABC zigzag, but while that is required, sure, it's not necessarily enough. We need to be a bit patient and see, are we going to witness a massive, strong move on the upside? And by that, we are talking about a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 without a lot of overlapping of the base. We said, if we get this thing, great sign, and especially in it, all eyes on this important high about, let's say, 1.03 cents. And if we take it, okay, at that point, there's really going to be like very limited chance that we are able to say, you know what, maybe this is like a 5 wave and we are looking very bullish. At that point, odds are, yep, this is actually an ABC zigzag, and our move up hopefully is going to continue. And as you can see, right now at least, we don't really have that pump. And I mean, honestly, in an ideal scenario, I want to consider the possibility of having probably from this high 5 down into a correction for wave B and another move down into C, and in it we take the lowest low in here as well. And at that point, I'm gonna say, well, okay, maybe we are having the subwaves for a WXY in form of a double zigzag. In an ideal scenario, I don't really mind if we witness another move on the downside and then a quick bounce in order to, at that point, actually take this important high right in here about 0.93 of a cent. Now, why did I say at the beginning of the video that in XCN, and for that matter, probably in a lot of other altcoins, we are sort of kind of at like the make it or break it level? Because in XCN's case, this is an unbelievably important support from weekly and daily time frame at the same time between 0.88 to about 0.97 of a cent. And the reason for why this is so important is twofold. Number one, this is from, again, weekly and daily time frame at the same time, meaning it does actually have quite a bit of validity. And by the way, I forgot to tell you this. If you want to say this is broken, you need to go on weekly chart and see a candle close under here, followed by a pullback, and then a continuation of the move down. In other words, these do not really count as a break of the support, okay? If you go on weekly charts, these are just simple shadows, so again, they definitely do not count. The second reason, you see, under here, we really do not have a lot of strong supports, and in a lot of other altcoins as well, we are kind of having the same deal. And in XCN's case, the next important region is actually all the way down here. Let's just do this. There we go. Between 0.23 to about 0.36 of a cent. So I'm trying to tell you, if we get in a situation where Bitcoin is going to go down big time and it's not going to recover very soon, and again, let me be very clear, that's not really my primary case, but we have to be objective and at any given moment be able to come up with a bullish and also a bearish count at the same time. So this is absolutely in the interest of that. If we get a move down in Bitcoin and not be able to recover quite soon, I'm gonna say probably in XCN we are going to see some strong moves on the downside as well, and the bare minimum target is going to be reaching to about the lower band of this channel. But at that point, who knows, maybe we're gonna get a break of it, do a pullback, and then get the real continuation of the move down. Do we have some more evidence suggesting this is like a very, very important support area and under any kind of circumstances we should not get a break of it? The answer is yes, but the evidence are not actually on this chart. They are on XCN versus Bitcoin's chart, and we talked about this thing many months ago. I think when we were right around these areas. Trust me, I haven't actually touched these structures. This is from back then, and I think, yep, when we were around here, the idea was that we are having in Onyx from the highs to about this important low, 5 down into a correction for wave B, and the idea was that, well, okay, maybe we're gonna have like 1, 2, 3 correction for 4, another move down into wave 5. And we were hoping back then that this move down in Onyx is going to be caused as a result of Bitcoin actually in the short term going up at much faster of a pace. However, that, as I'm sure a lot of you know it, did not play out. Now, in terms of classic technical analysis, meaning support and resistances, back then we talked about this unbelievably important support area between, let's say, 8306 to about 8879, and we said under any kind of circumstances we do not want to see a break of this level. Why? Because this is basically the same situation as we are having in XCN versus US dollar, meaning under here we really do not have a whole lot of strong supports until I think about 40-50% lower. And the sad thing is that this region actually belongs in daily time frame, and in weekly and also monthly time frame we really do not have a lot going on around these areas, and the best that I can find is this thing right in here. So in essence, this is actually our last hope in Onyx, and let's just be patient and see what are we going to do with it. By the way, did we actually get a break of this thing or not? As you can see, you sort of kind of might be able to say yes, but I don't really think that it is confirmed. I mean, sure, maybe you're gonna say this is our initial breaking phase followed by a pullback, and now we are going to have a continuation of the move down. But okay, fair enough. Even according to this thing, if you want to say that this is confirmed, you will still need to have another move down in order to take this important low. So you might be able to say we have broken it, but technically I'm gonna say probably not yet. At the same time, it's very important to also pay attention to this important support level on XCN versus US dollar as well. If we end up getting a break of this thing, I don't really think a whole lot of good things are going to come out of this. And at the same time, probably on this chart, we are going to get a break as well, which is really not ideal. On the other hand, though, if we end up having in the next, I'm gonna say probably 4 to 6 weeks, a rather good bounce in form of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave in order to at least take this important high about 11,633. That could be like a great sign suggesting, you know what, yep, this support is doing the job and we are going to get another move on the upside in order to at least take this important high for the first target about, let's say, 4905. And that means, let's just measure it real quick, about, yes, like a 4 to 500% move on the upside in XCN relative to Bitcoin. And assuming, let's say, Bitcoin is going to stay flat, well, okay, this translates to about 500% move up in XCN as well. And if Bitcoin is going to go up big time, okay, that's going to be a bit of a different situation. At that point, who knows, maybe we are lucky and in XCN we are going to get somewhere between like a 7 to 10x move on the upside. And we talked about this stuff in the previous videos as well. We were saying, look, the overall setup in Onyx does actually look quite optimistic, and we do have, in my view, off of the lowest low, 5 up into 1, correction for 2, a strong impulse into wave 3, and there is a decent chance that this is a correction for 4, meaning we really have a great setup to witness a fantastic bull run into wave 5, which and at the bare minimum target is going to be taking the highs around 5 cents area, but a better target can be somewhere around maybe like the 10 cents region. And you notice that I don't really have insane targets, maybe like a 30, 40, 50x move on the upside. Those numbers, in my view, are a little bit too optimistic. I'll be honest with you, even like a 10 cents XCN might be a little bit too optimistic. So, let's just count for now on another move up in order to take the highs. And then no problem at all, we are going to make new videos and see where are we going to go from there. But it's very important to understand that all of these beautiful bullish structures, in my view, do depend on what are we going to do with this support level. Break this, I don't really think we are going to have some big moves on the upside from these areas. Most likely we are going to have at first a massive move down, maybe like a 40, 50, 60% move. And then, okay, once more, we are going to make new videos and see what might be next. So for now, we are kind of in a nail-biting moment. And what I can, I guess, tell you is this. Under any kind of circumstances, do not go short on XCN. You are going to lose quite a good bit of money, since Onyx does actually have a habit of creating a short squeeze environment many times. Let's just count the amount of times that we got some short squeezes. There we go. This is another one. This is another one. This is another one. This is another one. By the way, every single example is like a 20 to even 30x move on the upside. Okay, these aren't actually some small pumps. No, for example, this one was, as you can see, about like a 25% move on the upside. Here is another clear cut classic example of a short squeeze. This is another one. This small move is also another one. This is another one. This can be definitely another one. How about this one? How about this one? As you can see, again, we are having many short squeezes during this whole phase on the downside. And if you think that you are going to make money by going short in XCN, well, may I suggest, think again. Odds are you are going to lose a good amount of money. So although if we end up getting a break of this level, our analysis, our primary case at least, is going to be the bearish one. But I'm not really stupid enough to go short on this chart, because honestly, I do like to keep my money. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in XCN. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.